Okay. Why is religion often central to the ways in which people construct and articulate their identities? What does belonging to a religious community mean to believers? What does it give them? These are some of the core issues of interest in anthropology, and something that fascinated me in my own research on Christianity, especially especially in its global expansion beyond the geographical borders of Europe with which it has come to be conventionally associated. But, as we all know, Christianity originated in the Middle East, in Asia, and from there spread across the rest of the Asian continent in the first centuries of the Common Era, often following established trade routes. As a result, there are sizable and ancient Christian communities across Asia, a fact which often remains overlooked in popular imaginations. In India, for example, the field site for my research, Christianity is believed to have been brought by St. Thomas the Disciple in the first decades of the Common Era. From the historical churches that he established to the numerous Catholic and Protestant missions that arrived in India in the following century, Christianity has a very long history in India, but our story is a bit more recent. As you can see, contemporary Indian Christians come from a variety of ethnic and linguistic backgrounds, and Christianity is currently the third most popular religion in India. Interestingly, the highest density Christian population is not to be found in the south, but in the northeast of India, in the borderland states of Nagaland, Manipur, Meghalaya, and Mizoram. There, most of the highland communities are almost exclusively Christian, and that brings us to the ethnic community among whom I conducted my research, the Naga, and their fascinating story of engagement with Christianity. Numerous tribal communities residing in the Indo-Burma borderlands came to be known as Naga in the early 19th century, when the British first encountered them. In colonial writings, they were later described as ferocious, wild, very warlike tribes that engaged in a cultural and ritual practice the British found most abhorrent: headhunting. Premised on the notion that chopping off an enemy's head and treating it in a special ritual way would bring prosperity and fertility to the headtaker's village, headhunting was practiced widely by all Naga when the British encountered them, and for quite a few decades after that. But in the 1870s, American Baptist missionaries arrived and started work among the Naga, and in the following decades, almost all Naga converted to Christianity, the majority of them becoming Baptist Christian. This put an end to headhunting. So how did the headhunters adopt Christianity then, and why? Utterances like these one hears on a regular basis in Nagaland, and they highlight the centrality of Christianity to people's perceptions of their identity. So when we study conversion in anthropology, it's a very complex phenomenon, but I'd like to draw your attention to two aspects. First is the spiritual one. We can plausibly suggest that the redemptive power of Jesus Christ, demonstrated in miracles and faith healings, has convinced the Naga to accept Jesus as their personal savior and adopt a new belief system in a new worldview, which transformed not just their way of life, but also the way public space is constructed in Naga villages. Grand and striking churches like this make a strong testament that the Naga are committed to the gospel and to spreading it across the world, which embeds them from their remote borderland into global missionary networks, such as the 1040 window initiative, which seeks to promote Christianity in areas which are perceived as underexposed to it. The second aspect is political. In addition to being the most Baptist state in the world, as my informants proudly insisted, Nagaland is also home to one of the longest ongoing armed resistances in the world. Since its beginning in the mid-20th century, it has been based on the assertion that the Naga have a distinctive and unique history and ethnic identity, which sets them apart from what is usually imagined as Indian. In order to accentuate this, Naga nationalism has become heavily intertwined with Christianity. So much so that the slogan "Nagaland for Christ" has been adopted, controversially according to some, to substantiate this political statement of distinctiveness, grant an alleged divine sanction to Naga political struggle, and facilitate and encourage Naga conversions to Christianity in the 20th century. As popular perceptions have it, Christianity has brought the Naga from the darkness of unbelief to Jesus' salvation, thus impressing upon them the need to fight, both metaphorically and otherwise, for bringing about his kingdom on earth. From their seemingly remote borderland, the Naga, as God's chosen people, continue to keep an ever-watchful eye for the salvation of Asia and the whole world. And with the general financial support of the RC, in my current postdoctoral project here, I'm going to write a book about these fascinating issues. Thank you.